What's up, guys? Welcome to the Lippin and Sippin podcast. This is the first podcast I've ever done. I've always wanted to do one, so that's what I'm doing. I take inspiration from Bill Burr and Joe Rogan's podcast. I think they're very funny guys, and their podcasts are entertaining. And their podcasts have kind of inspired me to do this. So you're probably wondering why it's called the Lippin and Sippin podcast. Well, first off, I'll just be talking about random topics that are going on in the world, things that are trending on Facebook, and just things that are spiking my interest at the moment, right? So I'm talking, my lips are smacking together, I'm lipping. That's kind of the ideal behind the whole lipping part. And then the sipping part, each podcast, I'm going to be drinking a new drink that I've never tried before and just expanding my knowledge of beverages and encouraging you guys to do the same. I'm not like a big drink guy or anything. I just thought that'd be a cool little unique twist on my podcast, something new. So I just decided to do that also. So let's get started. I'll be talking about a lot of things tonight. I'll be talking about the Oscars, some movies. I'm going to be talking about the movie Moonlight and Get Out, which I saw both of them. And we're just going to talk about some few things I hate too, like selfie sticks, how long it takes people to take shits, Crocs, and what else do I hate? Spoilers, people that spoil movies, all that kind of shit. So we're going to cover all that tonight. So let's start off with a new drink that I'm trying. I just picked up a new drink I've never tried before tonight, and it's called Bai. I don't know how to pronounce it. Bai. Looks like a little bit of a Spanish word or something. So it's a sparkling antioxidant infusion. Sounds so ridiculous. And the flavor I got is Simbu Citrus. I guess it's a water. And when I was picking this up, I realized what it said on the side. It said, bold flavor for fearless taste buds. Simbu Citrus is extreme. It's like skydiving over an active volcano or tossing a lit match at a fireworks factory and strolling away in slow motion. Such bullshit. I started laughing as soon as I saw that. Really? When I start drinking this, it's going to feel like I'm flying over an active volcano? First off, I don't want to do that. That's fucking dangerous as shit. I don't think I'd be having fun in that moment. And then throwing a lit match into a fireworks stand, that's illegal too. So both of those, the sensation I would get from both of those events are not good sensations. I mean, seriously, who makes this fucking sparkling water? The Five Gum Company? You know how the Five Gum Company always has those, like, extreme commercials, like, when you taste Five Gum, you feel like this. And it's like this guy having an extreme out-of-body experience. I've never felt that from Five Gum, and I've chewed it a lot. I didn't even get a little pre-cum in my pants every time I chew Five Gum, so that's why I don't chew that shit anymore. False advertising. Never felt anything super extreme from Five Gum. But alright, I haven't tasted it yet, so let's try it out. I'm about to take my first sip of it. The Bai Simbu Citrus Sparkling Water. It tastes alright. It kind of tastes like a flat Sprite. Which kind of makes sense. It's sparkling water, right? They're trying to make it healthy, but it's only got 5 calories per can. So, I mean, I guess since it's like a sparkling water, I guess it is good for just water, right? So let's get on to the topics. At the end of the podcast, I'll give you a 1 in 10 rating on this drink. Right now, I can't really give a rating on a 10-point scale because I've only been taking a few sips of it, so I don't know too much about how the fuck I feel about it yet. But let's get on to the topics. Let's talk about the Oscars first. So a couple weeks ago, the Oscars were on. By the time I upload this podcast, it will be like 2 months in the past. But a couple weeks, the Oscars were on, and I'm probably the only 22-year-old that watches the Oscars. I know most people that watch the Oscars, they're between like the age of 60 and 120, knocking on death's door, but not me, man. I'm 22 and I like watching the Oscars. I'm a big movie buff. I like to see what movies are good, what movies I should be watching, what actors are performing their jobs well. And then right after the Oscars, I call my grandmother and we discuss how we liked them because she's the only person that I know that watches the Oscars. None of my friends watch the Oscars. It's a very old crowd that watched the Oscars. But even if you didn't watch the Oscars, I'm sure you caught the viral mistake at the end. So when they were giving out the Best Picture award, at first they gave it to La La Land, and then La La Land came up and gave all their speeches, and then they realized they read the wrong note card, and they actually had to all get off stage and give it to Moonlight, which makes sense, right? I mean, La La Land's a fucking musical. How many Oscars can a musical win? I don't feel musicals. I just don't get them. It's like the wrong environment to have a movie that includes a billion songs. Like, the story's building up, it's developing, and then the whole movie breaks down in a song, and I'm in the middle of a movie theater. Like, every time I hear a song, I want to get up and start dancing and singing. But if I do that in the middle of the movie theater, I look like a fucking psycho. What am I supposed to do? Stand up in the theater and start encouraging everybody to start dancing and singing? But that's what you're supposed to do during songs. So I just don't like musicals because, music and movies, when that's like the sole platform of the movie, it's just not a good mix, man. I'm in the wrong environment to be listening to music. I gotta stay quiet. I'm in the theater. And even if I'm at home when I'm watching a movie, I want to relax and chill. I don't want to stand up and start dancing and singing. If I wanted to do that, I would pull out my iPod or my Zune. Of course, no one uses iPods. Zune really didn't last long. Those things were out. It was the, who made Zune? Napster or something? I knew one person with a Zune. But, I pull out my iPhone and I listen to music. I'm not trying to get a musical thrill out of a movie. That's just not what I'm looking for. So I was happy La La Land lost. I was like, I don't fuck with musicals. So Moonlight won instead. So, I was like, all right, this is the best picture. This is the best movie of the year. Gotta watch it, right? Gotta watch it. See what it's all about. So, if you guys haven't seen Moonlight, it's about this gay black kid that grows up in the ghettos of Miami. And since he's gay, obviously he gets teased a lot. He gets bullied a lot. So, life is not easy for him. And at first I was a little discouraged because I was like, all right, most movies that won a lot of Oscars, some of them are boring as fuck. Like I watched Birdman a couple years ago because it won the Best Picture Oscar. And that movie was confusing and just boring. Me and my boy passed out within like the first 20 minutes of throwing it into the Xbox. But, I watched Moonlight, and again, I was like, oh, am I going to really be able to relate to this? I'm not gay. I can't really relate to this kid's struggle. I might not be able to really relate to what the movie's talking about, right? But I watched, and it was actually a very good movie. I actually really enjoyed it. It kept me thoroughly entertained the whole time, and I recommend it to people. But it was kind of funny, because halfway through the movie, they had this, like, gay sex scene, right? And when a sexual scene's about to, like, start, you just kind of start feeling that tension build up, and they start leaning in for the kiss, so some shit's about to go down. And usually, when I watch a sexual scene in a movie, it's between a man and a woman, right? And I kind of get turned on. But Moonlight, so I knew that kind of scene was about to come on because they were about to lean up and kiss. It was two guys kissing. And I got real nervous for a second. I was like, wait a second, man. Usually when I'm watching a scene like this, it's between a man and a woman. And I kind of get turned on. But during this scene, if I get a little stiff in the pants, what the fuck does that mean about me? That, at the very least, means I'm bisexual. And I'm just not ready to deal with that kind of confusion right now. I was like, as far as I know, I'm a straight man. I'm not ready to be super confused. But luckily, throughout that whole scene, I stayed flaccid. And I was like, all right, I am who I thought I was. I stayed flaccid throughout the whole scene. No pre-cum, nothing like that. So I was happy about that. Nothing wrong with being gay. Just like I'm saying, but being gay is a struggle, right? It's very confusing, and I was like, I'm not ready to deal with this type of confusion. I've never had to watch a gay sexual scene, so I don't know how I'm going to react. But I reacted appropriately in terms of my sexuality, so it was all good. It was all good, but it was a good movie. Yeah, you kind of get a better perspective of what, gay people deal with, but of course it was extremely rough for him. Wait. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, it kind of gave me a better perspective on, the struggles of being a gay man. And then I watched Get Out. I finally saw Get Out over the weekend. I wanted to see the movie for like 3 weeks straight, and I finally got to see it last Friday. And I hate spoilers. I hate people that spoil movies. So if you have not seen Get Out, I do not want to ruin it for you. So skip ahead in this podcast about 6-7 minutes. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to do that. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. So let's discuss the Get Out movie. Hold on, let me take another sip of my bay, or whatever it's called. It's alright, man. It really tastes like a flat Sprite. I wouldn't really recommend it. Unless you're just trying to be healthy and you're like, alright, I want water but with a little flavor. Let me drink this sparkling water. But anyway, back to Get Out. So I saw Get Out a couple days ago, and it was a really good movie. Very clever. I'm very glad I went to see it. I totally recommend it. Super entertaining movie. But I guess if you didn't watch it, you already skipped past my recommendation because you don't want me to spoil it. But the whole girlfriend situation in that movie, I called that to an absolute T. I mean, an absolute T. Like a couple weeks ago, I was like, yo, I bet the girlfriend is a part of the whole scheme. Like, it all starts with her, right? All the black people that are at that house are past boyfriends of her. Because it makes sense, right? Why would any black dude go that far into the backwoods? I mean, come on, black people know that's a danger zone. There's a lot of fucking rednecks in the backwoods. That's a place they do not want to be. So I was like, obviously, something is dragging them there. It's not just them going to visit the backwoods. You know, that's danger zone. A lot of rednecks back there. And I was like, so something's dragging them in. And I was like, I'm telling you, it's probably the girl and that guy, the black dude that is chopping wood outside the house that you see in the trailer. It's probably a past boyfriend of hers. And I was like, I bet you she even went lesbian for a second to get the black maid in the house. And then when Chris found all the pictures of her and all her past black boyfriends, and that she in fact turned into a lesbian to get the black maid, I was fucking hyped. I was freaking out in the theater. I was tapping my friends on the shoulder like, dude, I called this. This is the best call I've ever had. I've never called something so well. I was hyped. I was very proud of myself. I felt like an intelligent man at the moment. But one thing that I did not see coming in that movie was the whole switching of bodies thing. I didn't think, like, the whole premise of the movie was white people were switching into black people's bodies to be able to have their physical gifts. I didn't see that coming. That was pretty clever. And like the grandma and grandpa switching into bodies so they could live longer and so on and so forth. But after the movie, I was thinking, it was a little ridiculous. That's the reason why they're kidnapping all these black people, right? You're doing all that so you can be a little bit more physically gifted. And for what? You guys are all old fucking white people that live in the middle of the backwoods. What do you need to be at a physical advantage for? What, chopping wood? Chasing your dog around the yard? What's the point of that? You're going to go through all this, have your brain switched into the brain of the body of a black man and all this bullshit. So what? You can have these physical abilities that you don't need at all? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And it was like, and why are they all black? Like, come on. For me, I mean, I would be requesting the Asian, like, yo, I want some mathematical abilities. Can y'all get me an Asian in here and then switch me up with him? Because that could get me some places in life too, man. I could become a great financial advisor, accountant, something like that. I know I'm being a little bit stereotypical by saying, yo, yeah, I want an Asian man because they're good at math. But seriously, it makes sense, right? I mean, I would like an Asian. Like, get me an Asian, man, because I'm struggling. I struggled in my algebra classes and shit. Give me an Asian, man, to smooth that kind of shit out. But after the movie, too, it was kind of funny because we were discussing, like, what if the roles were reversed, right? And it was black people kidnapping white people. And I was like, yeah, but why would you do that? Like, white people have no physical advantages. You know, my black friend that went to go see the movie with us, he was like, I would like that so I could be white. So I was like, all right, good point. Touche. I see where you're coming with it. I see where you're coming with that. All right, cool. But yeah, man, it was a good movie. I totally recommend it. Totally recommend going and seeing it. It's a fun movie to watch. And yeah, anybody that didn't see it, I'm glad you skipped over that part so I didn't have to spoil it for you. I hope you're back with us now. And yeah, I hate spoilers. I do not like people that spoil movies. I feel like people that spoil movies really deserve to go to hell. Because if you think about it, it's just pure evil, right? It's not advancing their life in any way. They just kind of want to ruin a movie for you. And it's fucked up. You know, that happened. That actually happened to me with Get Out. A part of it, I was watching the trailer for Get Out before I saw it. And, hold on. I can't pick Get Out, right? Or then I'll spoil it for you guys. So let's say we're talking about Shutter Island, that movie that came out with Leonardo DiCaprio like 6 years ago, right? And it had a kind of a twist ending, so I'm just going to use that movie as an example. If you haven't seen it yet, and I spoil it for you, well, that's kind of your fault at this point. It's been out for 6 years. But, Let's say, for example, you're going to watch the trailer for that movie on YouTube, right? And this happens all the time. You're watching the trailer for the movie, and then you go scroll down in the comments, right? Because you want to see what everyone else thinks about the trailer. And there's always that one fucking guy that comments some shit that totally ruins the entire movie. Like, oh, Leo figures out he's a patient at the end of the movie the entire time. And your brain is reading the comments so fast that you can't even, your brain can't even process fast enough. Like, holy shit, this is a spoiler. I need to stop reading this. By the time you read it all, the movie's spoiled, and your brain hasn't even processed it. So once you process it, it's like, oh, fuck, that's a spoiler, and you ruined the fucking movie for me. Those people really deserve to go to hell. It's just pure evil. I'm pretty sure that would get you to hell. If a spoiler went up, he dies, and he's going up to heaven. He's floating up to heaven, right? And he gets to the Golden Gates. And, God's out in front of the Golden Gates and looking like Judge Judy with the gavel and stuff. And he's like, all right, I'm looking at your record. You lived a pretty moral life. You did a lot of great things in your life. You donated to a lot of charities. But we had a big problem with something you did in 2011, 2012. And he's like, oh shit, is it something that's going to keep me out of heaven? And God's like, oh, yes, it definitely is. And the guy's like, what is it? What is it? Oh, you fucking ruined Shutter Island for me. Because you made a smart-ass comment in the YouTube section telling everybody that Leo's just a patient of the hospital and he just doesn't know it. You ruined it. You ruined it for me and my son Jesus. We're about to go watch the movie, so we thought, hey, let's watch the trailer a little bit on YouTube, and we both read the comments at the same time. Fuck you, and then he pushes this button, right, and the guy just drops straight down in hell. That's what should happen to spoilers, man. I hate spoilers. Another thing I hate is, why is the average shit time for humans so long? I just don't get it. When people go and take shits, they take forever. And I just don't understand it. What are you doing in there? When I go take a shit, it's literally 2 minutes long. I'm wiping. It takes me longer to wipe than it takes for me to move that bowel movement, because I go in and I push that shit out of me. And most people take 10, 15 minutes in the shitter, and I just don't understand what that's about. What are they doing? Are they just going in there and waiting for gravity to rip the shit out of their ass? Come on, son. Push it a little bit. I just don't get what they're doing in there. One time I went to an amusement park with my friend, and so he's like, hold on, let me go take a shit real quick before we get in line. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he goes in there, and he's gone for 15 minutes. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Do people just get on their phones once they sit on the toilet seat and forget what the fuck they're doing and what they're supposed to be doing? And they just sit there until, like I said, gravity just pulls it right out of their ass? That annoys me. And then you're holding up everybody that desperately needs to go. Some guy that just ate sausage, biscuits, and gravy, he has to splatter, he's prairie dogging, and you're taking your sweet ass time on the toilet. Hurry up a little bit. And then I asked my cousin, I was like, why do people take such long shits? Why does it take them so long to take a crap? And he was like, oh no, that's normal, because that's a man's time for peace. That's my time of peace. That's your time of peace? Why does that need to be your time of peace? You live alone. You don't need to be on the shitter to have peace. And what? It's peaceful to be surrounded by the aroma of shit? What's so peaceful about that? And shitting sometimes is painful. I want to consider that peaceful. I just don't get it. It's come on now. Push it out a little faster. Push a little harder. Give it some effort. Like I said, I'm in there 2 minutes. I just don't understand what the holdup is. Some people, I never understood why some people put, books on their toilet seats, and you're like, well, why do you have a book in the bathroom? Oh, so when people are taking a shit, they can read? How long are they going to be in there? 30 minutes? 45 minutes? They're going to finish the entire book within a few sections just because of how long it takes for them to shit? I never got that. Another thing I hate, man. I'm sounding like an asshole here. I'm sounding like a prick or something. But I'm just going over a few things I hate. Another thing I hate, man, is selfies. When are selfies going to end? If we should be protesting anything right now, it is selfies. I hate selfies. They're just so conceited and attention seeking. I understand if you take a selfie once a month because you need to change your profile picture up a little bit. And I understand when girls use the filters. because it makes the picture look better. I get all that. But I know some people that take literally 3 or 4 selfies every day. There's this one girl I know, and she takes 3 or 4 selfies every single day, and every selfie includes her cleavage in them. Like, it's so attention seeking to me. And then she posted on her Facebook later, like, "Oh, I'm about to just delete all my social media because all these guys are confessing their love to me and are hitting on me." Like, no shit. I'm not surprised. You take 3, 4 selfies a day. Of course, some guys are gonna get the wrong message. I'm gonna be thinking you're looking for some slong too. It's annoying. It's like, selfies need to end. I was never into selfies. I never got it. I wasn't even doing selfies when I was 13, when it was really big to do a selfie with your shirt off and you taking a picture in the mirror of your, sucked up body at 13. Just no muscle, just abs. Never got into those selfies either, man. And then, to top it all off, I already hate selfies, and then they created that selfie stick a few years ago. And the first time I saw the selfie stick, I was in D.C. because my cousin was visiting. I live in the Northern Virginia area, and of course he wanted to go see all the monuments and memorials and all that kind of stuff. So we're in the Lincoln Memorial, and this is the first time I saw the selfie stick. I just see this group of people. Then I see this kid, and he's holding this stick with his phone on the end, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me, really? You can't just get the tallest person in your group to hold out their arm as far as they possibly can and take a picture of all you guys, take a picture of all you guys in a fucking selfie? You gotta have this stick so you kind of make the angle a little bit wider so you can capture everybody. Why can't you just be a normal person, hand your phone to someone that's passing by and ask them to take a picture of you? And then the whole time you have a selfie stick, you gotta have someone to carry around the selfie stick at all times. It's a nuisance. It's like holding a baby. You gotta carry the baby everywhere. Why would you want to carry a selfie stick everywhere? Like, just ask someone to take a picture, or always have one of your friends that's like 6'7" to be walking around and going everywhere with you guys, and then he can be your selfie stick. And then I saw a guy in Miami, and he's walking in the middle of the ocean, by himself, with the selfie stick, taking pictures. Like, you don't even need the selfie stick. You're by yourself. You don't even need that wide of an angle. It's just you, son. Why do you need the selfie stick? It's so stupid. The person that invented the selfie stick, he's amazed right now that he is sitting in a mansion because of the selfie stick. He's almost as amazed as the guy who invented Crocs. I mean, the guy who invented Crocs, I checked a few years ago, and that guy made $80 million off creating Crocs. Just fucking rubber shoes with holes in them for no reason. But, I mean, I kind of understand why people buy Crocs. I owned a pair of Crocs, the ones with the fur in them. And they are comfortable. They're very comfortable. But if you want to buy Crocs, do not go to the Croc store in the mall. Me and my dad got our Crocs at the CVS for like $5. The Croc store charges you $80. Like, you're buying a nice quality shoe. It's like, you spent no time on this. This is the shittiest shoe I've ever seen in my life. Why would you spend $80 on that? And another funny thing is, sometimes you see those people that like to wear Crocs a lot, and they'll wear like a really nice outfit, right? They'll have a nice dress shirt on, they'll have a nice pair of jeans on, or dress pants, and then they team it up with Crocs. It's like, if you're going to be wearing Crocs, don't try to make the rest of your outfit look nice. Because the Crocs, once you stoop to wearing Crocs, the whole outfit's got to go with the Crocs. Nothing else that you are wearing is going to make it better that you're wearing a pair of Crocs. So if you're wearing Crocs, do what I did. Every time I wore my Crocs, I wore sweatpants and a plain white t-shirt, because you're already going a little bummy with the Crocs. You might as well go full bum and bum it all out. Because once you put the Crocs on, your whole outfit's ruined. And I remember my dad actually wore his Crocs to a party. And this guy comes up to him and he's like, "What are those on your feet?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? These are my Crocs." But it's a successful shoe for sure. That guy made a lot of money. You know what else is another popular shoe? The Nike Air Monarchs. Now, if you think you have not seen the Nike Air Monarchs before, oh, trust me, you've seen the Nike Air Monarchs. You've seen them before on some 40-year-old dad that has multiple kids. It's the most typical dad shoe ever. It's just one of those basic plain Nike shoes.
and it's probably one of Nike's highest selling shoes ever. You see every single dad in this world wearing Nike Air Monarchs. They're funny as shit. And if you actually watch reviews on the Nike Air Monarchs, they got some pretty funny reviews on them too. And one defect about them is I was watching a YouTube review on it, and there's this 40-year-old dad, right? Typical candidate for the Nike Air Monarchs, and he bought them, and he was like, oh, they're super comfortable shoes. They'll run you for about $40, but a big problem about the Nike Air Monarchs is they squeak. And my dad had a pair of them, and I was like, oh, shit, does your Air Monarch squeak? And he's like, yeah, they actually do. You gotta watch the review. The review's hilarious, because he's taking it so seriously, like they're nice shoes, and if they didn't squeak, they'd be the greatest shoes ever. Just type in Nike Air Monarch review on YouTube, and it's probably like the first one. It's like this white guy with a really shitty green screen in the background. I don't even know why he used it, because he wasn't even putting anything custom on the background. It's just... that has to be one of their highest-selling shoes. I actually knew a guy in college. We used to always give him shit because he had the Nike Air Monarchs. And he was like, man, my dad bought me these shoes. That's why I'm wearing them. My dad bought them for me. And some guy goes, yeah, to ensure that you would never get any pussy in college. It was funny because he's like 20 years old. That's such a dad shoe. I don't know why you would wear that if you're not a full-grown man with multiple kids. But what else can we talk about, man? I'm going to talk about one more thing. We're going on 26 minutes here. Let me take another sip of my bye. Yeah, man, unless you just want to drink sparkling water and be healthy, if you're looking for something with a lot of flavor, don't pick up the Bai Simbu Citrus. It just tastes like a flat Sprite. But if you're trying to be healthy, trying to keep it healthy, and you just want some water with a little bit of flavor, it's a good choice. It tastes like your typical sparkling water. But one thing that's going on in the world right now is everyone's losing their mind, of course, over politics and the fact that Donald Trump is president. And whether you support Donald Trump or not, you gotta admit that guy has the biggest upset of all time in history. Like, nothing beats him becoming president. When he announced that he was going to run for president, I really thought he was joking. I was like, all right, this guy's pranking us. Tomorrow he's going to come out and say he was just joking, right? And then a month went by, 2 months, 3 months. I was like, all right, he's running the joke a little too long, but all right, he's going to say it's a prank. And then like 8 months go by. I was like, all right, I guess this fucking guy is really running for president. I didn't mean to say fucking guy. Donald Trump is funny. I think he's a funny guy, whether you support him or not. I don't know how you can't laugh at some of the shit he says. He's definitely good at frying and comebacks. Like, I watched the one debate where Hillary was like, oh, thank God a man with your temperament doesn't run this country. And he was like, oh, because you be in jail. That shit was absolutely hilarious. That was the best fry, best insult, best diss I've ever heard in my life. But yeah, he definitely has the biggest upset. Like, that beats the New York Giants beating the Patriots. That beats the Warriors losing to the Cavs. That beats the Patriots winning the Super Bowl this year. That beats OJ getting off. Like, it was the biggest upset ever. I was mesmerized. I was like, holy shit, this guy's actually president. When he first started running, I really thought he was joking around. And I watched the whole election night until 3 o'clock in the morning, and when they announced he's president, dude, I was like, this is literally the craziest shit I've ever seen. Whether you support him or not, you gotta admit, that shit was insane. Like, when he first announced that he was running for president, I think he had like a 1% chance of winning the entire thing. And then he fucking did it. Like, it was crazy. Fucking insane. He totally beat the odds. No one was expecting him to win, and he did it. I mean, if you bet, like when he first announced that he was running for president, and you made a Vegas bet on him winning, how much money would you have won? How much would the odds been stacked against you to when he won? How much would you have won? If you put down $1, would you have won like $1,000? Like, what were the odds? Like 1 to 1,000? They had to be insane odds. Like, anybody that made that bet, like, this dude is going to become president right after he announced it, the odds were probably so not in favor of him that those dudes made a shit ton of money off that bet. Even if they bet $1, they probably made 1,000. So, that's it for tonight, man. I talked about the Oscars, Moonlight, Get Out, man. I recommend both of the movies. They're great movies. I talked about shit I hate, the selfie sticks, selfies. Let's end that shit. If we really want to protest about something, that'd be a good protest. What else did we talk about? Nike Air Monarchs, Crocs, all that shit, man. I talked a lot about some shit tonight. I don't know why we say we. No one else is in the room with me. I keep saying we. No one else is in the room tonight right now. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. I'm gonna do a podcast weekly. So by the time I start my podcast, there will be a good amount of episodes up, 3 or 4, and then from there on out, I'm gonna do one weekly. So have a good night, have a good day, whatever part of the day you're in, and whichever one makes more sense. Good night or good day, whatever. So thanks for tuning in, and tune in next time. Peace.